With spooky season on the way, the ghosts are already out to play. Hello, everyone. My name's Eric Leon, the man rated EDL, and I'm here with a person who uh, avoided a nuclear catastrophe, Evan Vesey, and we are the Old Amber Archives. Evan, how are you doing this fine weekend?
It wasn't that great. It was really I couldn't make a diamond without how clenched my butt was earlier, as you told me. But I vote. It everything came good in the end, and we avoided one of my rants, so everybody's good better off for that.
Yes, and speaking on that, we are finally done with the Dortmund Regionals, and with an interesting outcome, I think, for a lot of people that were anticipating a different result in regards to this. Starting it off, Dragapult was the winner of the Dortmund Regionals, using its Phantom Dive to spread damage, and also using an interesting partner in play, the Dusclops line, in order to manipulate the damage output and create some favorable matchups. I was thinking, watching the finals and watching that play out, um, it was amazing. The see the Dragapult player almost with like surgical precision just play everything right and accurate to get the outcome that he needed to do. Because a lot of people, I don't know if you were listening to this, but I was listening to to the cast, the casters, and it felt like almost everybody was ready for Lugia to win. Everybody was talking about how, Lugia, just it's too big, it's too bulky, there are too many, there's not a one shot opportunity in play for Dragapult to take advantage of. And that was not an issue. It was not an issue at all. It seemed like there was just nothing that was going to stop Dragapult from taking the win. Taking the win in the finals.
Yeah, it's he, Rio played it perfectly. It's just every time on every play he played it perfectly. He every time he saw Raul didn't have a board state, he made sure to not take a knockout. Just kept setting up knockouts for later, just so he couldn't get and use his serendipity in a game. Just made sure that you're not in a great spot. I'm gonna make sure I don't give you a way to get more cards in your hand. Make sure give you an out of the situation. Uh, oh no, that was in the Tord matchup. I saw that's one I watched a lot too. But even in the Raul one, you saw him set up against Lugia. You saw him set up, take knockout. He played both those games against two very good players, right? So we know, playing over here towards one of the best Europeans here, Raul. Even though I hate him, he's a good, he's a really good player here. This can't get it done in the finals. Uh, they were both hurt by the fact that their opponent Ryuki did not take a knockout on certain turns. He just kept setting up, setting up, setting up, so he could take multiple knockouts at one turn and really crush him. And again, that pairing of the Dragon Ball with the Dusknoir line is just it's a great idea because he could just let me you got one Archeops on the board, I clear it, take the knockout, boom, we're good to go. You got no setup anymore, right? I can soften something up, take double knockout on certain Pokemon, certain opportunities. It was such a great gameplay. He played everything perfectly, played every turn perfectly to make sure he won that matchup, won those top matchups in Top Cut.
Yes, and so congratulations to Ryuki on that win. And as they pointed out in regards to this is a new format. If you're playing outside of your region um, in regards to your play, you are guaranteed still a world invite. So for Ryuki, that does give him the second regional person now to get themselves into a world invite. Now, going from there and taking a look at the top 8 here, It was really an interesting top 8, that I was seeing on my end here. I don't know what you were thinking about this, but, Dragapult being an interesting one, I don't think a lot of people had ideas on. You had Iron Thorns, which was an interesting one, Miraidon, which is always when it runs hot, it can get up there. But then you also had, like, Goldango, which I don't think a lot of people anticipated to get themselves into a top 4 placing in regards to that. And, getting himself in the top 4. I don't know if you've seen the clip. I think I sent it to you. But how he was able to make it rain on his opponent to guarantee him to get himself into top 4. One of the definitely something I think that a lot of people are going to start memeing in the community, just because of just how funny that was of a moment there. But I think this at top 4 definitely shows that there's going to be um, a slight change in regards to what we're used to seeing and what we expected to see. That with the new Pokemon, with the new format, with the new meta, everything on there, it's going to be completely wider than I think we even anticipated.
Yeah, it was just shockingly wide top 8. Obviously, this is the first. I think part of it also goes. This was the first regional in the format, so everybody
Hmm.
really didn't really know what to play, what was gonna be good, what was gonna be great. I mean, a lot of people went to Old Faithful. That's why we saw like the top 8 decks were basically ones we thought were gonna be played anyways. Like it's very much was similar top 8 similar top decks in day one to what we thought was going to be played before. Um, and the only thing that got really wild was the conversion rate of Terrapagos from day one to day two, which you went from 84 decks being played in day one to 25 decks being played in day two. That's a hell of a conversion rate for a deck that we don't know what the best version of the deck is yet, right? So first time playing these people on it, but it looks like it's strong. It looks strong. You go wide. You can take knockouts, set up knockouts with the Dusclops line, and there's an interesting decks to be played. And I found the list, the top 8 list, and I was playing it earlier today a little bit. It's a good, it's a good deck. You can get to knockouts, you can reach for things. Having access to the knockouts and stuff makes it good. But yeah, it's a very open top 8. It looks like it's gonna be still a very open format. We'll see when some of these other lists start getting refined. What's the cream that rises to the top? But right now, it looks like it's gonna be pretty wide open, at least at the beginning part of this format.
Yes, definitely. And speaking in regards to the day two, I know I know for me, the Terrapagos was not what I was anticipating. I was thinking that the cheeky deck that was going to make it into the top 3 of day 2 was going to be Palkia, which it did make a top 4 in regards to the placing on that, but did not have a day 2 conversion rate that was anything spectacular. Only 3 people on Palkia made it into day 2. So in regards to that, I think that was definitely a shocker that we had something like Terrapagos make it in with a high conversion rate of 25. Um, Outside of what else we were thinking. Of course, the other top 3 that were there was Raging Bolt, which makes a rally and a comeback from Baltimore in regards to to having a representation in the day 2 with 23 decks players making it with Raging Bolt. And then Zard rounds up the top 3 with um, 18 of the players making it into there. So, the rest of the meta looks pretty straightforward in regards to what we were probably anticipating. Raging Bolt or Regidrago was fourth and Lugia was fifth in regards to the top 5 of day 2 conversions. But that Terrapago is definitely rising itself up there. And like you said, this is the first time this deck is being played. This hasn't even been refined or fine-tuned to being the ideal 60 that people would want to play with. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes from here. and to see how that deck builds in regards to that. So, very interesting, play and turn of events that we saw here coming into the first format of Stellar Crown.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, obviously, like I'm seeing maybe the Dust Club's line is gonna be cards that's gonna really define this format. You know, you're seeing it linked with Terrapogus. You saw it linked with the Palkia. We know it goes good in Zard. We're seeing it goes good in Dragon Ball. You know, honestly, that's looking like that's the card. That line of cards is gonna define this format. Just whatever. I'll give up a prize. It's fine. I can set up for knockouts. I can really eliminate my opponent's board state. I can screw him over with certain things. I can set up with the Terrapagos deck. You can set up a Briar play with that. Uh, yeah, it's. I always thought like we always thought like, oh, Dust Slop's line is great, but you know it sucks giving up a prize and certain these things. But right now it's like, yeah, but if you're just trading two prize for two prize, right? You're just trading big knockouts. Giving up one prize really doesn't matter because you're like, oh, they're gonna have to knock out two prizes to win this game. So it kind of doesn't matter that I'm giving up one prize. I can give one prize to set up my knockout. So yeah, that's real wild. And obviously the dangle, I love the dangle. You know how much I love the dangle. Oh, I don't love him enough that I didn't sell him to Lupe because I didn't think it was gonna be good. So now it looks like I gotta buy back in. Once I see what this deck list is. Uh, this is a real. I'm really interested in what's gonna happen at the next regional to see how the format gets refined because now everybody's gonna have these deck lists. You know, a couple days you go on the list, you're gonna be able to see all of the day two deck lists, see what people got, and you're gonna see people start refining them, see what's gonna get real high played in the future. The one thing I feel like is gonna happen, a lot of more people are gonna play that Dragon Ball list, but they're not gonna be able to play it as well as Ryuki did. That looks like a tough list to play. Like you gotta make sure every one of your plays is on point. You misplay a play, you're gonna get hurt, right? The that's that's gonna be that's gonna like we're gonna see a lot of people playing that. A lot of people try playing it. A lot of people gonna have effort to try to see like, oh man, this is good, this one. But I'm like, you might just not be the player Ryuki is to be able to think through. You know, think 3, 4 turns ahead to know like I gotta set up these things for these knockouts in the future. I gotta get ready for these certain things in the future. Like it's gonna be rough. I like obviously it looks hey, Lugia still looks strong. We know we got a couple guys here locally that love the Lugia. They're gonna be playing that, but man, this is like it's gonna be a wild format, and it's only gonna get more wild. This is only like a 2 month format because we got the next set coming out like right around the corner. Before we go to SAC for regionals, we got to learn a whole new set of cards. Like it's gonna be rough, man. Waiting for this next cup though. Gotta wait for this next cup to see which one of these random decks I'm gonna play.
Definitely, definitely. And going from there and talking about the weekend for not just for everybody else but for locally here. We had a very interesting weekend in regards to tournament play. There was the cup at one of our card shops, Clovis Cards and Collectibles, um, that hosted their cup tournament, and um, we were able to fire a top eight, which is always great to have a top eight fire. And we had one of the locals, Douglas Poole. Shout out to him winning it with cloth, the good old as he called it, his old reliable deck cloth, was able to take the tournament, take the cup there. Now I played in the cup and I bubbled at eight. I played Palkia and I tried to, I was started the deck out for the first time, hadn't really played it, tried to see if I can, piece together some wins and kind of get a feel for how the deck runs. Overall, I thought the deck was pretty interesting. It definitely it is great against two prizers. It struggles if it hits a single prize deck. Um, it definitely struggles if they can offset the trade pricing. and do something like that, that was something that I was struggling to figure out because I didn't run the Dusclops line. I ran it with the Noctowl engine for that there. So I didn't have a lot of single prizers as an opportunity to take prizes from that point of it. So I bubbled at 3 and 2, but Evan, my co-host here, was able to make a top eight, so he got a good field of what that top eight looked at. So from your perspective, how was the cup, and how was everything that happened in regards to that?
The cup was good. It run well. We had Southern Jacob as the organizer, and our boy Nate was the head judge. Both of them ran a very clean. Both of them ran a very clean event. Started in time, got through the rounds on time. Clover, CCC on the new ownership, way better than the old ownership. Great pricing was great. Fantastic pricing for top eight. Really competitive pricing for top eight. Yeah, I was playing. I was on the Reggie Drago V. Deck I've always wanted to play, but I kind of like on the ancient box the last format, so I decided, and I had to pick up a new deck for this one. I was like, I got the pieces for Reggie Drago. Let me build this and play this out. Ran smooth, ran great. Obviously, I went in. I made top eight, made top four, lost in top four to the Lugia matchup against one of our boys, Tyler. But if I could have Pheasantipity for the Prime Catcher, I would have won that matchup. But I didn't get it. It's Pokemon. You miss a card, you lose a matchup. That's kind of just how it is. Uh, but it was good. I mean, there's some interesting decks in top eight. We saw one of the boys, I forgot his name, but he's playing some random Firebox decks, moving around with the. Oh man, I can't forget what it's called. It's the one
The
version.
Armor Rouge,
Armor Rouge, yeah, moving fire energy around with
the
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 Armor Rouge, taking attacks.
the Mega Man Pokemon.
The Mega Man Pokemon. Yeah, it's that was interesting. We had some Zard. We had Reno being a real a hole and playing Snorlax. Just gotta bring stalls. Just gotta be annoyed by it. He lost in top. He got the top eight with Snorlax. Lost in top eight. That's got a bad matchup. And then Doug winning. Doug always brings the spice. He always brings the spice. I don't think I've ever seen Doug not bring a spicy deck to a tournament. But yeah, the cloth hits. It's one prize trader. Poison is a great effect because you can't Pheasantipity if the poison takes a knockout. You can't do any of those knockout, return knockout effects if you get ticked over by the poison. What can you do? Hey, you got a 2 card hand. You really want to use that Pheasantipity after I took this knockout? Nah, too bad, bro. GG. Good luck. You can't do it. That poison took the knockout. I didn't take the knockout. Uh, Same thing with yeah, the poison knockouts. It stops the gift energy in the Lugia matchup. You can't take the gift with it. You can't take a lot of things with that poison thing. It's a good surprising deck. They got some hits. It didn't run into any bad matchups. I know talking to Doug, he didn't really run into any super bad matchups for him. Voided the Reggie Dragos that were in the field because that's somewhat of a bad matchup for the deck because you can take multiple knockouts in turns. Uh, yeah, it was a real good cup, fun cup. Had a good time. I wish I would. Oh man, I should have won that cup. I should have won that cup. That's what I'm saying. I should have won that cup. If I could have beat, if I got a prime catcher, I would have played Jug. Man, I would have had some spice for him. I should have won that cup. But yeah, okay, whatever. I got 2 second places and 2 top 4s for the season. Now I just gotta replace those. So we'll see what happens going forward in the future.
Yeah, no, you've been running pretty hot. And you've been doing very successful coming back in regards to this. I wonder if doing the podcast and trying to build the content has reignited the old school Evan back into the field again. Have we got a glimpse of what he was back in his day? Um with our podcast and everything else going. So definitely it's exciting watching you play and watching you just kind of, like I was over at the sushi place and you were just walking by and you were just like, yeah, I'm in top eight.
Yeah, I think I feel like I'm not. I feel like at least for the past couple of seasons, I was pretty burned out by Pokemon, and there might have been also just like personal stuff and work stuff that was like annoying me. Like after COVID, I wasn't really back into it, but I'm kind of back into the mood. Like I want to play. I feel the enjoyment of playing. It's not like I'm just here because I want to hang out with my friends. I actually like come out here. I'm like, you know what? I'm also just playing like better decks. Like I'm not just like out there trying to play with some random stuff. I'm like, AG Box with a good deck. I'll play. Drago's a good deck. I'll play. I was really considering like let me play something I never played before. I got the Terrapagos. Let me see if I can build the Terrapagos list and just be like whatever. Check it out. Like now let me go with something kind of like tried and true, uh, and figure that thing out. But yeah, I mean obviously I'm not gonna like grind on the season. Uh, I'll play in the regionals I go to. Obviously I'll probably end up going like 4 regionals, probably NIC. Maybe EUIC. I want to go to London. I'll go visit some family up in London. Uh, go play some Pokemon. We'll see. We'll see how that runs. But yeah, it's fun. It's always fun when you do good. If I was bashing my head against the wall, it wouldn't be as much fun. But we'll see how we get done. Uh, I gotta win one this season, man. I gotta win one. I just gotta be like, I gotta prove I still got that dog in me. I gotta prove I still got that dog in me.
I wouldn't doubt. I wouldn't doubt anytime soon that cup's coming around the corner for you. If you just keep running hot the way you've been running hot, um, and going from there and for so today there was another challenge that was happening run by Evolution, and I was able to make it to that one as well. I ran it back with Palkia, got myself into the finals against one more time Doug, and playing against Cloth again. It went back and forth. I took game one, and then he took game two, and it came down to game three, and I was missing a couple of pieces. I played the wrong supporter after seeing how the hand played out. I realized I should have Iono'd to limit the hand that he had, because then right afterwards he just goes and gets set, and he just got the knockout that he needed. In regards to that, and so Doug having a hot weekend, making himself winning the cup and then turning around and winning the challenge back to back on that. So shout out to Doug, just having a weekend of for himself. And then in regards to that, I ended up getting fourth. So I got prizing in regards to that. I didn't get points though because we didn't get enough to fire. Uh, to fire a top 4 point system, but I was able to get points, or I was able to get cards, and for the content that I make, I'll gladly take some cards.
Yeah, Doug's a smart player. He knows how to play his decks he plays. Y'all should be terrified of him because he's out here making robots. This robot, he's gonna lead us to the robot apocalypse. I'm sure of it. Doug's out here molding young minds, teaching him how to make robots. This is this is where the Terminator starts. He is Skynet.
He's just over there. He's just over there sitting back, and he's just like, yeah, no, this is what you do, and this is how you build it, and everything. Anyways, have you learned about Pokemon yet, though?
He's gonna make a Pokemon playing robot. It's gonna win a regional. I'll bet you
I,
anything.
I, I, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Just with the content that he can come, and it would be spicy deck too. It wouldn't be a normal deck. It would be like it would be like cloth that would that would take it and go and win from there. So that was the weekend in regards to what the actual landscape of Pokemon happened with. Um, and then furthermore, on top of that, the last thing I was able to do this weekend was, after the cup, I sprinted back over to Evolution, and I was able to play in a GLC tournament, which I was super excited about because for me personally, I love GLC as soon as I learned about it, and learned about what GLC is. Um, just for anybody who doesn't know what GLC is, it's very much like Commander and Magic. It's a one of every type of card, mono typing, and um you just kinda and there's no 2 prizes, no rule box Pokemon that can be allowed in there, so it's very much an older format where you can go all the way back to black and white with your Pokemon cards, and you can kinda just, you build single prizers and it's a lot longer of a gameplay. It's a lot different of a format and how it functions and everything, but for me, I have a lot of fun with it just because it's different from what the standard meta is, and we were able to go there, and I was able to play in the tournament there. I was late for the first round just because I was waiting for the results of the cup and seeing if I would make it to the top 8, so that slowed me down, to make it there, but once I was able to get there, I took on, another one of our old legends, Jimmy. I played him, and he was playing normal, and we had a back and forth battle. It was very much, "Wow, I just got this knockout. I wonder if my opponent can turn around and knock me out. Wow, he knocked me out. I wonder if I could turn around and knock him back out. Okay, I knocked him out now. Can he do it?" Like it was just back and forth. Just can we get our pieces? Can we get everything that we needed to go back into? Unfortunately for me, he was able to get the extra turn to take a prize in regards to that. So I was off by one turn in regards to getting the last KO I needed. So Jimmy ended up winning that matchup, and then afterwards I won my next matchup from there. So uh, when the placings came out in regards to that, I got myself fourth place again. I just love fourth place. It's an even number. It's divisible by two, and that's just something that I just love to get myself placing in regards to. So I got myself fourth again, got myself packs. Always happy to get that. I know some of our other locals that are in the chat right now that won't stay quiet about it. Our local GLC hater Gazer Beam 2K showed up and got himself second place. He skipped out the cup just specifically to get second place at a GLC event. Um, so in regards to that, shout out to him uh, for at the very least getting second. Still missing a first place win. I'm still waiting for first place, but I guess that's just mythical like a unicorn. You're just never gonna see it happen.
I mean, Gaze is like his boy Raul, just can't get over that hump. Just can't get that win. Too much similarity between those two. Yeah, GLC is a fun format. It's always interesting. Like I play GLC with Jimmy every once in a while after like locals. Jimmy always loves the funky decks, loves the funky formats. He loves playing classic formats. We're playing him in a base to fossil format, which was fun. I think he's got some 2011 decks built. I think he has the 2007 decks built. Like got a lot of classic stuff in, and like GLC's right up his alley. Playing that wild shit. Uh, but yeah, GLC is a great format. I think it's taken off a lot more recently. It's a very fun, open format. It's very you don't got to worry about getting really steamrolled in that format, as you can sometimes get steamrolled in certain other formats. It
Yeah,
just it
no,
just
and
gives you variety. Like you said, it gives you variety. It lets you use stuff from all this all the way back into expanded era, black and white era, and you can just play whatever, figure out new things, make some little differences, and modify those things.
yeah, no, and that's one of my favorite things is that, I play games in GLC where, I was down 3 prizes to 6, and I just played an Iono or I played a Roxanne, and my opponent, it pulls up their hand, they're like, "Well, I got nothing." So it's like, slowly I can make that comeback and turn around and win the game even though, I was so far behind, and that I think that's one of my favorite things about that format. Is that even though whereas with the modern format, like right now, it seems like we're going back to heavy big two prizers. So it's two two two, and then you're done.
Yep.
It's just it's a for the 6 turn play. With GLC, sometimes you can be playing upwards to like 12 turns before something actually before a match is decided. So it gives you a lot of time to look at and build, your strategy, build your bench and get everything established for that. So it's one of my favorite things. I oftentimes when I play GLC, I play electric typing just because that is my favorite typing to play. That's my favorite typing of Pokemon is electric Pokemon. So that's the decks that I build towards, and I kind of just consistently every now and then, whenever the format gets, whenever the current meta of standard is just kind of boring or stale, I like to just kind of pull out my GLC deck and see, okay, how can I retool this? How can I make this a little bit more, quicker to get what I need it to do? And electric is very fast. That's the real other reason why I like lightning decks is because you just turn one, you just start swinging into Pokemon and start taking quick knockouts. Raikou rotated, which was one of my easy favorite things to just wipe the board off of somebody um, with that deck. So that's typically what I like to play. Now, Evan, you said you played. What type of what typing do you like to play with?
Right now the only one I only have two technically built. They're not totally good. I think they're not from before rotation. So I had an electric one like you built, and then it was just because I had a 1/1 line of the eels and a 1/1 line of the whatever the ones that can what was the new set? Unless you get the energies back from the discard, right? So you just like, all right, let me get all these energies back from the discard. Um, I think I had a I had a water one built as well, and I think I had a psychic one, but they weren't like great, greatly built. But yeah, like you said, it's fun to play in a different format. There's one of the things I like before COVID and all that stuff. Playing expanded, you get a little different taste every once in a while. Playing something different every once in a while to be expanded cups around, you get a little different taste. And like people want to run like GLC formats. It's a real easy format to pick up. It's a good format for if you're like a new player, since you don't it's kind of pared down since you don't have all the EXs and Vs and stuff in there. You don't have your rule box Pokemon in there, so it's basically like a stripped down, take it back to basics version of Pokemon, right? Uh, so it makes it real nice for any like new players wanting to get in. It's not super expensive to get into. There's one or two cards that are harder to find just because they're older. But realistically, you can pretty much get all the stuff and build a deck that you can play with, and it's a lot more a fun format. If you take an L in GLC, you're not gonna take it as hard as taking an L in like a regular deck, right? But yeah, it's fun, and I got a bunch of bulk. I got all this bulk from back in days, so I can just go through and like start looking for the cards that are good, and like, oh, let me just throw this in here, find this GLC what I need. I need some town maps, which is a great GLC card. Uh, put that in your deck. But yeah, It's a super fun format. It's super easy to get into format. Same thing like you said, like it's like Magic Commander. Like that's mostly what the Magic stores around here play is Commander because people want to play like a lot more easier to get into format than playing like Modern or Standard or whatever the hell they call in Magic. I don't know. They smell. Um, but, uh, but yeah, GLC is great. It's always great. It's great to have different formats. That's why like, sometimes I like playing like old formats too, because sometimes you're like, I just need to taste something different. Let me play like this 2011 format. You got 2011 decks, let's play it. Oh, you got 2007 decks, let's play it. Let's run these old formats a little bit to get a little refresher and when stuff gets a little stale, right?
Yeah, no, and that's something that it's something that I'm starting to learn a lot more in regards to what the current meta, like playing standard, and spending my first year or two in the standard format. I start to really kind of pick up on you know after about 5, 6 weeks of a certain meta, and then you hear all these new cards that are coming out, and especially right now with how rapidly we find out, we already know what the next set is, and there are people that are already building decks that are talking about what the next set's gonna have and, how we're gonna, fine tune our decks with these cards or how we're gonna build this whole new deck now with it. It's like roughly about 5 to 6 weeks of a meta. It gets really boring really fast, and then you have to wait another 4 weeks until those new cards come out, and you're just like, well, I don't have much else to do right now. It's just let me just play Zard again for the 400th time. Um, seeing something that's enticing like a GLC, is something that I definitely enjoy in regards to it. And so anytime, for anybody who is at a tournament who has a GLC deck and is interested to play, I bring my deck all the time. And anytime we have some spare time to play, I'm always down to play with anyone in regards to that. I'm excited to go to I'm excited to go to regional tournaments and play GLC there, just because you get to see a lot of other deck builds, and you get to see a lot of strategies of certain people building, like, normal control, or they'll play normal, but it's with it's with you know um Snorlax, and it's with, like, power up punch, and he's using Archeops to accelerate the engine. And then you play another normal deck, and it's like completely different from that. It's built on, revenge KOs in how it attacks in there. And so it's like there are just so many different ways you can play, GLC decks. And anytime you can play it, there's always different people that have like different things they're cooking up with. And so it's something that to me doesn't get stale in regards to playing it, because when you play with different people, they have different decks that they're cooking up. And so it's like it's just a complete, new wide idea that for me, I definitely enjoy playing, and definitely love. I can talk about it all day. I can talk about GLC all of this whole entire podcast. That could be my rant in regards to that. But yeah, it's just something I really enjoy.
Yeah, and then when new sets come out, it makes other cards viable. Because obviously, when I look at a new set, I'm just looking at the cards and like, all right, what's the cards that are good for standard? And it's like those, 10 to 15 cards. If it's a real good set, that's gonna be real good. But then like, when you look at it from GLC, you're like, oh, this actually would work in my GLC water deck. Oh, this would actually work in my GLC whatever deck, right? So you're seeing like cards and be like, oh, these are actually like somewhat workable in my stuff, right? So it makes more cards viable for actual gameplay. I feel like, um, yeah, it's a good format. It's a good creative format. It makes Obviously it makes everything way more viable. It makes you have to dig through all that bulk you got to get through things. Uh, but yeah, everybody like if you're kind of like burned out of standard and just playing like big basics or big V's and EXs, uh, go get GLC, man. Go to like we got especially locally here. We got a bunch of card shops. I'm sure if you just start going through the bulk and stuff, you'll find a bunch of GLC cards you need, and then you can talk to like people like me or Reno. Some of these fools have been playing for a while. We probably got so many of the cards we don't even know, like cards you need, just random stuff. Uh, it's great, And you were talking about rants. I mean, we were saved from an Evan rant today, this morning, man. Dude, God, man, Ryuki just saved the universe from one of my rants. I would have lost. I would have. It probably would have been the end of the podcast. I'll be honest. It would be the end of Evan playing Pokemon. It would be the end of the podcast. Um, I don't think I could. I don't think I could have survived this just in our group chat. I don't think I would have.
Now, now, out of curiosity, because I know there are a lot of people who know, but I also know there's some people who don't know. What exactly is the origin of the beef that we have here? This hatred for a certain individual in the Pokemon community? Because like I know there are a lot of people that you don't like, and I've been around you when you don't like people, and or like when when we talk about somebody and you're just like I don't like this guy, and you kind of just go off into it from there. But like there's a vitriol hatred that I can see in regards to this. And anytime this person is brought up in the chat, I can just I'm over here in California, Fresno, and I can just hear the vitriol from Kerman just emanating all the way over here from that. So where exactly does that come from?
So obviously, there's only one person in the Pokemon world I hate more than Gazaru 2K. That's Rahul Reddy. let's just say like I've had a run in with that dude and it's like it wasn't good. Let's say back in the day when the regional was smaller, when it's a smaller regional, as a West Coast regional, I believe it was San Jose. And I just had a run in with that dude where I'm like, yo, this guy is an asshole. And not like an asshole like me, like a lovable asshole. Like I'm an asshole. Like no, no, no. This guy is like just, just not a good person. Like I would never get along with this guy, right? Like there's certain people like me and you get along fabulously, right? We're great. And there's certain people like yeah, I can tolerate them if they're around. You know, I'm not gonna be upset if this dude is here. I'm not gonna be annoyed if he's hanging out in the group. But I'm like with this guy, I'm like, dude, like even in that small interaction, I'm like, nah, bro, I ain't gonna be cool. We ain't ever gonna be cool, right? And then that's like other people, like there's other people that I met, like after small interactions, they become the homies. Like first time meeting Keon, I was like, oh, this guy's hella cool, right? Other guys, Cameron Shinoy, some of the other guys out there, like I met them, I'm like, oh no, these guys are hella cool. These guys are hella dope, right? Like this piece of shit, this piece of shit already, man. And it's kind of been proven time and time again, like this guy is not a good dude, right? Like I don't know how old he is now. Like I got a rule. Like obviously he's younger than me. I'm not exactly sure how old he is. I don't give a shit. Whatever. And at the beginning I knew he was before the age when I start writing people off. I don't write you off until you're 27. Once you hit 27, if you're still that dude who that's not gonna get along with, I'm not gonna like, I write you off. That's it. That's the end. Never again. I'm not gonna talk to you. I won't, I'm just like, I'm, this is it. I won't write anybody off until they hit 27. That's when I start writing people off, being like, you're a fully formed adult. Don't be doing any of these dumb things anymore, right? Don't be saying stupid shit. Don't be trusting the wrong people, because obviously, like, that's part of the thing in Pokemon. All these group chats gets leaked, and, like, you find out, oh, this guy's a piece of shit. Obviously, people say shit, whatever. Don't put into a group chat with people like that's on you for not trusting these people you think is your friends. That's on you for like whatever, and that's also on you for saying these things, right? You say some effed up stuff, that's on you. This guy has been proven time and time again to not be like a good dude. I don't like him either because I'm like, goddamn, there's only like a few of us brown guys playing, right? This motherfucker out here looking like an asshole and like, oh man, you know how bad it looks on other brown dudes out there? Looking at, and then it's like and then I hate when people are like, oh, hey, Rahul, he plays too. You're from your part of the world. Like, no, yeah, fuck that guy. The fuck, I don't like the dude, and I've told multiple people I don't like that dude. Gazerbeam knows I don't like that dude, and Gazerbeam's the one that leaks all my chats to him, I'm sure. He's betraying me all the time, right? It's whatever. I don't give a shit. You don't gotta like everybody, right? There's a lot of, majority, there's a lot of terrible people that play Pokemon.
This is true.
Let's be dead ass honest. There's a lot of terrible
This
people that play
is
Pokemon.
true.
And part of that being, there's just like young dudes that don't understand the world, that they say stupid shit, right? That's part of it. Like there's a lot of young people, a lot of young dudes that play that say stupid shit. Obviously, I've lived. I don't really say a bunch of these stupid things like anymore. I don't. Yeah, back in the day, I probably said some dumb shit, but some of them say like real stupid shit, real dumb shit, and I'm like, bro, come on, like just don't be doing 90% of the stupid things you do. But yeah. And here's a wild thing. I talk to so many other like known players, and then I tell them, I'm
Still
like,
going.
yeah, I talk to so many other like known players, like players that do good events, whatever. They have followings on Twitter, and then I'll somebody else will be like, oh yeah, this dude doesn't like Raul, and like, oh yeah, I don't like him too. He's like a well-known guy that people just don't like. So I feel like I'm on the right side of this. I called this out like in like 2016, 2017. I was telling this to all the locals and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, why you hate this guy? Why you hate this guy?" You know what? I've been proven time and time again I was right. I was right. He was a piece of shit, and I called it out over 6 years ago, over 8 years ago. I called it out. I said it then, and I was proven right time and time again, over and over again, over and over again. I've been proven right. Right, so I fucking was so happy when he lost. When he lost, I was so fucking happy. I was like, thank fucking God. One, because I wasn't gonna have to deal with this shit in the group chat. Because if I look at the chat log and this shit, Thomas out here being like, "Oh, Raul the best player." This get on my nerves. This give me on texting me. Raul. Oh, Evan, Raul, hey, that's you. They call me Rahul Reddy in the chat. Oh, they changed my name in the group chat to Rahul Reddy. Oh, what just trying to get on my nerves about this shit. Because they know I don't like them, right? So now I gotta deal with this shit. I was sitting there when he went into day two with that record. I was like, god damn it, I gotta hear about this shit tonight. And they're like, at the cup, hey, Evan, you see how Raul did? Did you see how he did it? You see how he did it? Yeah, I saw how he did it at Dortmund. I don't give a shit. I hope he doesn't wake up in the morning so he can't play day two. But yeah, it was annoying, and I was so happy that he lost, because if he won, the first thing would have been, goddamn Reno would have been like, hey, Evan, did you see that Raul won? And he would have kept messaging me. And then Gazer would have gone on the thing. I would have to kick Gazer at the group chat. Then Lupe would have chimed in. Everybody likes Lupe, but Lupe is always down for a joke. Thomas would have been like, yo, boy, your boy Raul won. Brown power. Woo! But yeah, hate that guy. I hate that guy. He's not a good dude. And other people have said he's not a good dude. They know him better than me. So I feel like I've been proven right time and time again. So clip this, do whatever you want. I don't care. If that dude gets upset, he wants to settle it, he can come to Kermit and we can settle it. I don't give a shit. I don't like that dude. I don't think he's a good person. And because I don't like him and I don't think he's a good person, I get all these people joking, comparing me to him. Like, don't compare me to a piece of shit. That's not a good thing to do. Alright, I'll rant over. Woo!
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I now you understand why I was like, we avoided a nuclear disaster here. In regards to that, so going from I don't even know where we go from there. I mean,
Sawyer, I'll keep going next time he does good in tournament. Every time anytime that guy gets any pub, I will come back. If he has any issue, any shit comes out of him on Twitter, that's gonna be the first thing that opens up the next podcast. I will roast that fool till there's nothing left. There's gonna be sitting on the asses. I just need him one time. Next thing he gets, next issue that comes up with him, that's it. It's over. Like, I'm protecting myself for certain things. There's other things that comes up, like person like Isaiah Brad and did some stuff. Whatever. I don't care. This is slow playing. Whatever. I don't care. Next time Raul messes up, that's it. It's over. Ashes, bro. Ashes. Favorite Pokemon? I love Absol.
Alolan Raichu has to be mine. Why do you like Absol?
I don't know, man. It's disaster Pokemon. I think it looks cool. I think it's the coolest looking Pokemon. Like, for the longest time, Dragonite was my favorite Pokemon. And then all of a sudden, Absol came out. I was like, holy shit. Because I'm a giant Shoto nerd. And I'm like, oh, this thing, it just looks cool. Amazing. Anytime Absol's in a game, that's on my team. Absol is on my team 100% anytime he's available in a game. Love Absol. He's great. Love that he's called the disaster Pokemon. Love that people think that, oh, disasters follow him, but really he's a warning for disasters. Great lore. Great story lore. Looks sick. Love it. I wish there was a good Absol card. There's never been a good Absol card. That's the bane of my existence. Outside of Rahul Reddy, that's the bane of my existence. The fact there's never been a great Absol playable card. Sucks. Even Dragonite. There's never been like totally super good playable Dragonite card. Like, the Pokemon I love never been super good playable in the game. It's in the TCG. Like, all my favorite Pokemon, like, they're not cards that are like get super playable.
Well, I mean, Dragonite
I wasn't
that
wait.
lockbox run.
I wasn't really playing during. I wasn't really. No, sorry. Sawyer's getting me on this Plasma app, so I wasn't really playing that time period, so I didn't really get to play it that much. So that's why I'm upset. I'm like, I only talk about my current time period playing. I'll go back and play some classic format, play some Absol, but my time playing has been an issue. Fuck Rahul Reddy.
I like Alolan Raichu because he's eaten so many fluffy pancakes. He has to develop psychic typing in order to move around. Y- to me, that's peak Pokemon design.
Of course, you like Alolan Raichu. Look at you.
I I I I I do love fluffy pancakes.
Yeah, Gaze Beam. Go ahead and go tell your boy this. Everything I said. Go clip this. Send it all to him. I don't care. I know he's gonna do it. He betrays me all the time. The only person that betrays me more than Gaze Beam is uh, Future Evan. Future Evan betrays past Evan all the time.
Okay. Well, going from there, I think ending on our favorite Pokemon is probably going to be the best point to put an end on this. So I think from here we'll wrap this up in regards to this now. Um, everybody in the chat, I just want to say thank you guys so much for your involvement in the chat. I've been watching you guys, and it's been when's the next cup? I think it's going to be in like 2 weeks in regards to that.
Yeah, we gotta get these people
I
out of here scheduling because we're just going into the next quarter.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be in 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken, in regards to that, and we'll talk about that next time in regards to when the next events are coming up. But from here, I think we'll wrap this up and move on from here. Like I said, everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much for your involvement. Any type of engagement is always good for us to go from there. Evan, do you have something else to say?
I just want to say follow me on Twitter at Evan Dacey. Follow Eric on at Rated ADL for his pack openings for trash pulls. I know this fool's got some spicy stuff cooked up in the future when we're going on a trip in the future. We got some spicy videos probably can come up for those. Uh, talking about that stuff. But are we playing in the 3v3? Eric, are you playing the 3v3? Lego's asking.
I am playing Lego. I'm playing with you in the 3v3. What do you think is going to happen with that? We'll get to that. We'll
Let's
definitely talk
do
about.
let's do it right now. Because I got dragged into the 3v3 now. Did you notice? I wasn't gonna
No,
play.
I did.
So
I
obviously,
did know this.
y'all dropping drink is coming
So
back.
when I asked you to play, you were like, "No, thank you." But somebody else got you involved in the 3v3.
Yes, because Jeremy called me drunk and said, "Evan, I need you," and I was like, "Okay." We're playing a 3v3, me, you, and Thomas. I'm like, we'll be drunk before it starts. Because I the
This
thing
is true.
because the thing is you're out there gonna try. I'm out there with two drunks just having a good time. So it's different. Well, all three of us gonna let each other down, whereas you guys would probably win it. So that's the difference between. I was like, man, I can't go in there and let Eric down. But Jeremy and Thomas, I'll be like, all right, cool, we'll be drunk. Yes, Thomas, you're playing.
I'm as shocked as you are, Thomas, about this information.
You're playing in a 3v3. So I'll be all Local So HB is having a 3v3 tournament next week where no all three of you can play the same deck. And communication, whatever those rules, Gage, that fat piece of shit came up with it. Um, I love you, Gage. If you hear this, I love you. But um, but yeah. So it's 3v3 tournament gonna be played. I got concerned into it by my two drunk friends, and Team Draw from Drink gonna go out there and represent. Eric gonna go out there with Lego. Who's your third on that team?
Philip's the third person that I'm paired with.
Ah, you guys can probably win. Uh, no, Team Bird Dog probably been representing, and we'll see some other locals that I talked to at the Cup. They're gonna be out there doing some stuff. Uh, but we'll see how that goes. Maybe I won't be playing. I don't know. Thomas might not even make it. This is me and Jeremy and some random. I'll pull a homeless dude off the street and teach him how to play. Uh, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that's basically the end of my rant. Man, I got really into that rant. Uh,
So as I was saying, from there, as Evan also pointed out, definitely go on to Twitter and follow Evan there. He's got some very opinionated ideas, and definitely he's worth an entertaining watch. to go and follow him on there. For most of my stuff, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube. You can follow me under there at Rated EDL, and you can check out my content there. Signing off here from the Old Amber Archives. I am Eric Leon, and this is my co-host, the ever hating, ever wonder of the world, Evan Desi. See you guys next time. Take care.
See ya.